The Soul Cairn is a tiny sliver of oblivion, the realm of the Daedra. It's ruled by unseen beings known as the Ideal Masters. Honestly, I don't know. Necromancers are always interested in souls, though, so that probably has some kind of interest. Nobody really knows. As far as I've heard, no one's seen them and returned to Tamriel to tell about it. I've read stories about fools that manage to communicate with them. You give the Ideal Masters souls, they give you powers to summon the undead. It's all very businesslike. Because most of the stories end with the Ideal Masters duping the necromancers, who end up dead or wishing they were dead. I had no idea her laboratory even existed. She had an alchemy set up in her drawing room, but nothing that even comes close to what's here. Looking at the equipment and materials, it looks like she was trying to advance her necromancy. I don't know. Certainly not longevity. Kind of a waste of time for a vampire. Not that I ever saw. My mother had a bit of a thing for magical constructs. Not what you're thinking. She just found them fascinating. Are you alright? That looked painful. Now that I think about it, I should have expected that. Sorry. It's hard to describe. The Soul Cairn is, well, hungry, for lack of a better word. It's trying to take your life essence as payment. There might be, but I don't think you're going to like it. Vampires aren't counted among the living. I could probably go through there without a problem. Not your first choice, I'd guess? Maybe. We could just pay the toll another way. It wants a soul, so we give it a soul. Yours. My mother taught me a trick or two. I could partially soul trap you and offer that gem to the Ideal Masters. It might be enough to satisfy them. It would make you a bit weaker when we travel through the Soul Cairn, but we might be able to fix that once we're inside. I'm sorry. I wish I knew. Just know that whatever path you choose, I know that better than anybody. Do you need something? Are you sure? I'm willing to do it, but you need to think it through. You'll remain mortal, but you'll find yourself weakened within the Soul Cairn. I know this is difficult for you. I hope you trust me. I'd never do anything that could hurt you. Thank you. Let's not waste any more time then. I promise to make this as painless as possible. Hold still.
Is there no end to this nightmare?
The smell here. Let's try to handle this quickly.
Madness. It was madness to attack that coven of witches. Why didn't they listen to me? So, this is what it's like on the other side.
This is my favorite visual of the Soul Cairn. Just a black hole of souls.
You'd be wrong. Let's just find my mother and get out of here. Tough day for you.
help me find my Arvak. He doesn't deserve to be in a place like this. Arvak, my horse. We came to this horrible place together. We were attacked by monsters, so I told him to run. Please, he's such a loyal creature, and he's been running for so long. You have to save him. Arvak? Arvak! Where are you? Arvak, please come back! Come back! All I said to Patema was I thought she looked a little portly in that gown. How was I supposed to know?
Well, look what we have here. Someone with flesh on their bones. Let's just say I sold something to a guy who turned out to work for a whole coven of necromancers. How in the name of Zenithar was I to know the ingredients were phony? Do I look like someone that would double-cross a necromancer? You got it. Horse, wagon, and all. I used to be one of the best traders in High Rock, you know. How people would track me down just to see what I had for sale. Very funny. And what exactly are you going to pay me with? Take a look. I'll tell you what. I appreciate... The only thing I see around here in abundance are soul husks. You know, bring me, say, 25 of them. Odds and ends. Tell me what you're looking for. No husks, no sale. Guess you have some scavenging to do.
Like they're still suffering. Inside. We have to talk.
Serana, what are you doing here? Where's your father?
He doesn't know we're here. I don't have time to explain.
I must have failed. Harkon's found a way to decipher the prophecy, hasn't he?
No, you've got it all wrong. We're here to stop him. To make everything right.
Wait a minute. You've brought a stranger here? Have you lost your mind?
No, you don't...
You, come forward. I would speak with you.
So how has it come to pass that a vampire hunter is in the company of my daughter? It pains me to think you'd travel with Serana under the guise of her protector in an effort to hunt me down. Coming from one who murders vampires as a trade, I find it hard to believe your intentions are noble. Serana has sacrificed everything to prevent Harkon from completing the prophecy. I would have expected her to explain that to you. You think I'd have the audacity to place my own daughter in that tomb for the protection of her Elder Scroll alone? The scrolls are merely a means to an end. The key to the tyranny of the sun is Serana herself. When I fled Castle Volkihar, I fled with 2 Elder Scrolls. The scroll I presume you found with Serana speaks of Ariel and his arcane weapon, Ariel's bow. The second scroll declares that the blood of Cold Harbor's daughter will blind the eye of the dragon. Like myself, Serana was a human once. We were devout followers of Lord Molig Bal. Tradition dictates the females be offered to Molig Bal on his summoning day. Few survive the ordeal. Those that do emerge as a pure-blooded vampire. We call such confluences the Daughters of Cold Harbor. Now you're beginning to see why I wanted to protect Serana, and why I've kept the other Elder Scroll as far from her as possible. If Harkon obtained Ariel's bow, and Serana's blood was used to taint the weapon, the tyranny of the sun would be complete. In his eyes, she'd be dying for the good of all vampires. And how exactly do you plan on stopping him? If you believe that, then you're a bigger fool than I originally suspected. You care nothing for Serana, or our plight. Whether or not you've become one of us in order to survive the Soul Cairn, you're still a vampire hunter at heart. You're here because we're abominations in your mind. Evil creatures that need... Serana, the stranger, aligns himself with those that would hunt you down and slay you like an animal. Yet I should entrust you to him.
This stranger has done more for me in the brief time I've known him than you've done in centuries.
How dare you? I gave up everything I cared about to protect you from that fanatic you call a father.
Yes, he's a fanatic. He's changed. But he's still my father. Why can't you understand how that makes me feel?
If you'd only open your eyes... The moment your father discovers your role in the prophecy, that he needs your blood, you'll be in terrible danger.
So to protect me, you decided to shut me away from everything I cared about. You never asked me if hiding me in that tomb was the best course of action. You just expected me to follow you blindly. Both of you were obsessed with your own paths. Your motivations might have been different, but in the end, I'm still just a pawn to you two. I want us to be a family again. But I don't know if we can ever have that. Maybe we don't deserve that kind of happiness. Maybe it isn't for us. But we have to stop him before he goes too far. And to do that, we need the Elder Scroll.
I'm sorry, Serana. I didn't know. I didn't see. I've allowed my hatred of your father to estrange us for too long. Forgive me. If you want the Elder Scroll, it's yours. Your intentions are still somewhat unclear to me. But for Serana's sake, yes, I've kept it safe. Fortunately, you're in a position to breach the barrier that surrounds... You need to locate the tallest. At their bases, the barrier's energy. Destroy the keepers that are tending them. One more word of warning. There's a dragon that called... The Ideal Masters have charged him with overseeing the keepers, and will undoubtedly intervene if you're as you've been traveling in the soul... Let's just say, a tiny part... You should find no difficulty using the portal in it. Harkon's vision is a world plunged in eternal darkness, where what he fails to realize is how much if eternal night fell, there are many who wouldn't stand for it. The order of the day would be our destruction, until every last I do. It's how the vampire has survived for millennia, and the only way we can continue to survive in the future. When I entered the Soul Cairn, I had intended to strike a blow. I requested refuge in the Soul Cairn. If I had foreseen the value they placed on my own soul, The ideal masters Unfortunately, since the Keepers weren't able to claim my soul, they had their minions. Time has very little meaning to me. I suppose you could call this the ultimate. They're mystic entities that lord over. Well, some necromancers believe they are the. I believe there's more to. I think they transcend. Perhaps they were once conduits through which the ideal master's weakness. It's the reason for the soul, the ability to summon powerful undead god. However, the majority of necromancers that are foolish enough to enter into a bargain with the ideal master.
lost all of the pages, I would be in this predicament. And very well, I suppose. I am Jib. Some call me Saint Jib. Others call me Jib the Eradicator. I can't say that I'm surprised by your answer. Until I get a book I'd hardly call a 26-volume epic. Surely you've heard of the rise and fall of Saint Jib the Eradicator, hero of Morrowind and savior of the Dunmer. Maybe you should leave the writing to an expert. Stop making foolish suggestions. Terrible. I was in the midst of writing the second volume, and they just threw me into this prison. That damned Remora and his minions. They didn't even give me a... Well, I assume so. It cast a spell at me from... Next thing I knew... My what? Wait, no. All these wasted months... My work will never see the light. Perhaps... Maybe I can't leave. In order to write the second volume of my own... I need to know. When I was tossed in here, I felt myself falling. There were 10 of them in all. And finally, well, that's a ridiculous question. Everyone traveling through here has said that the Oblivion Gates have been opening all over Tamriel. Has it been that long? Well, it started with the followers of Mehrunes Dagon. Without a septum on the throne of the Empire, Dagon was able to leave. All I know is that without a septum sitting on the throne of the Empire, the dragon fires in a place called this man that we were found. Well, I don't know. I can only assume the gates have been closed by now. I had just moved from my ancestral home and I settled in the city of Kavach to write my memoirs. Indeed, one moment I took it upon myself to join the cause and fight. The reason I'm standing in front of you, I never knew what became of Kavach. I wonder if... Ah, yes. Saint Jib the Eradicator, Jib the Magnificent. Yes, I'm speaking. They used to crisscross the sky. After I was freed from prison, I decided to... It became quickly apparent. Indeed I was. I hunted down and killed every last one of them. Took years. The people of Morrowind were so grateful to have them. It was a dark time. Maybe that's why I worked. I murdered others for money. I was simply I finally bit off. I was paid to assassinate some. What I didn't know is someone had hired them all. Exactly. He got to my target first and called the guard to cover his tracks. By the time I walked right into a trap, they tried me for murder, threw me on a prison ship, gave me a lot of time to think. That's for sure.
And his work now has just begun.
You get around this wretched place. But I'm sure... Goodbye, hero. Take good care of Arvak for me. Such a good horse.
Let's kill those keepers.
things and get back to the prison.
The smell here. Let's try to handle this quickly. You're dead!
1,000 steps, and 1,000 more. You must help me find my please, he's such a loyal... Arvak? Arvak! Where are you? Arvak, please come back! Come...
The Dread Father works through me, and his work has just begun.
Your mind?
No, you don't.
You, come forward. I would speak with you.
So how has it... It pains me to think you'd travel with Serana. Coming from one, Serana has sacrificed. You think I... The scrolls are merely a... When I... The scroll The second scroll like my tradition, we call such conflict. Now you're beginning to see if... In his eyes. And how exactly do you plan on stopping him? Have you been listening to me? You care not whether or you're here because we're abomin... Serana, this
Hail the savior of the Dark Brotherhood. All hail.
I should entrust you to him.
This stranger has done more for me in the brief time I've known him than you've done in centuries.
How dare you? I gave up everything I cared about to protect you from that fanatic you call a father.
Yes, he's a
Perhaps
fanatic.
we should find a random stranger to murder.
He's still my father. Why can't you understand how that makes me feel?
If you'd only open your eyes. The moment your father discovers your role in the prophecy, that he needs your blood, You'll be in terrible danger.
So to protect me, you decided to shut me away from everything I cared about. You never asked me if hiding me in that tomb was the best course of action. You just expected me to follow you blindly. Both of you were obsessed with your own paths. Your motivations might have been different, but in the end, I'm still just a pawn to you two. I want us to be a family again. But I don't know if we can ever have that. Maybe we don't deserve that kind of happiness. Maybe it isn't for us, but we have to stop him before he goes too far. And to do that, we need the Elder Scroll.
I'm sorry, Sarah. I didn't know. I didn't see. I've allowed my hatred of your father to estrange us for too long. Forgive me. If you want the Elder Scroll, it's yours. Your intentions are still somewhat unclear, but for Serana's sake, I'll assist you in any way that I can. Yes, I've kept it safely secured here ever since I was imprisoned. Fortunately, you're in a position to... You need to, at their bases, destroy the Keepers that are One more... The Ideal Masters have charged him with overseeing the Keepers, and will undoubtedly intervene if you're perceived as a threat.
misses me. I wonder if they're still alive. How much time has passed?
Where'd come from?
There is no harm.
hope you get... Goodbye, hero. Take good care of Arvak for me. Such a good horse.
Let's kill those keepers.
The listener. again. Lead on, brother. My listener. Have you heard the tale of Matthew Bellamont and the great Chain Hall? Killboy's mother, and vengeance festers yes.
Who's there?